Hello, all you thoughtfully made people out there. It's Courtney Morrison with Made Architecture and Design, back with another week in review. So last Saturday, we had the opportunity to go around and do some campaigning for our friend Daniel Gaddis, who's running for City Council here in the city of Marietta in Ward 3. And me, my wife, my daughter walked around. We went door to door, talked to some neighbors, talked to them about the race, about the city, about Daniel, and what he brings to the table. And that was a lot of fun. I think we hit maybe 40 doors or so. My daughter, who's 6, was actually really, really excited. Probably the most excited of all of us. She kept asking when we were going to get to do that, and so we finally got to do it with Daniel, and it was a lot of fun. Really happy to see the support that he's getting, but he's getting the support because he's so passionate about the city and what Marietta has to offer. And on top of that, he is a city planner. He's a certified city planner. And so he loves his stuff. And that's a lot of the city council role is being involved in the city planning, emphasizing the comprehensive plan that the city has laid out and things like that, and overseeing kind of the building and development. And so I think he is going to be great for that job, and I'm really excited to support him. And it was a lot of fun to go around and talk to neighbors and meet some new people who I hadn't met, and see some familiar faces and talk to them about that. So really a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do that. And like I said, it was a ton of fun for my daughter to get to do. So it was that. And then on Sunday was a family day and a church day. And then on Monday, got into a little project work, and then had lunch with some clients who I have a couple of projects going with. Actually, they own a headquarter building down in the city of Smyrna that's severely encumbered with creek buffers, and I got to sit down and talk to them. We had reached out to a civil engineer who had kind of sketched over the site his thoughts of what we potentially could do, and I sat down and talked to them about that. I'm also working on a remodel for their in-laws, and got to talk to them a little bit about that and get their feedback on that plan as well. So that was good, and just great to talk to them and be with them and share a meal with them. So that was a lot of fun. And then I had a call with the civil engineer for the hardware store out in Decatur, and talk to the owner's rep about the steps forward and pushing that project forward. So thankfully, we've made it through the planning and zoning side, and now they're going to do the land development permitting side of things, and so we can hopefully get that project finally built for this client. So that was Monday. On Tuesday, I had breakfast with a friend of mine, and that was good. And then I drove from here down to south of the city. I have a client who's going to build a house down there, a modern house down on the south side of the city. I've talked about it a good bit, and he's got lakefront property, and he had it cleared. And so me, the owner, the grader, the contractor, and civil engineer all met there to look at the siding of the house. I think it's going to be it is an incredible site. I think where the house is placed, kind of adjacent to the lake, is going to be really, really nice. And so that was good to get down there, see the site, and see the client, meet the team. And then I came back to the office and worked on the drawings for the burn down house that I went and measured last week. Then on Wednesday, I worked on the agenda for the small group that I'm co-leading, put together the agenda with that, and then had lunch with my co-leader. That was most of the morning, and then did some more project work in the afternoon. On Thursday, I went out to Suwanee. I'm working on a grocery store expansion project out there, and I went and met with the owner's rep and the owner, as well as the MEP engineer, to go for him to do his field verification portion of the project. And so we got on the roof and walked through all the space, talked to the owner, talked through the scope of the project for the MEP side. And so that was really productive. It was great to be out there for that. And then I left there and went and had lunch with an engineer, fire protection engineer, who I've known for a long time. His office is up in Duluth, and so he and I got together, and it's always fun to talk shop and see, what each other's working on and how each other's doing and things like that. So it was great to get to connect with him again. And then on Friday, I did some work for the HVAC contracting company that I'm working for. They're doing a new headquarters space here in Marietta, and so I worked on that a little bit. I also got a call related to that project from the Marietta Fire Marshal, because we had a meeting and they told me, hey, Georgia has adopted the new 2024 NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. I hadn't heard anything about that. That was brand new news to me, so I went and looked it up and tried to chase that down through the state, code adoption process, which is a challenge in and of itself. And there is the 2024 Life Safety Code referenced, but in the paragraph beneath it, it references the 2018, which is the current code. So that was fairly confusing. So I snipped it and sent it back to the Marietta Fire Department and said, hey, just want to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. It says both code versions, and since this is a brand new update, I just want to make sure that I'm on top of it. And so he called me and said, yes, actually, you found a typo on the state website. And so in the next code, update cycle, they'll get that updated and a memo will come out and say that was there. So that was kind of a funny story to be able to find a typo, or maybe the first person to acknowledge the typo on the Secretary of State's website for the Georgia Building Code. So that was fun. So that is all I have for you guys this week. If you have any questions about who we are, what we do, how we do it, leave them in the comments below. I would love to interact with you guys there, or perhaps interact with you or answer a question in a future week in review. So until then, you guys be particular, and I'll talk to you next week.